Hello. Um, Welcome to the Hippie HeART Book Club. So we are actually on our second book. The first book was The Energy Bus. And we are now working on The Alchemist. The Alchemist actually came out a long time ago. It was written a while ago, and it resurfaced a long time ago. But we are diving into it as I am just now being guided to this book. Well, this book made an appearance in my life a few years ago, but I wasn't ready to read it. But I am here now, and I have been enjoying the book so far. So I just want to share with you what I have taken away from it so far. I am on part two. I have read a little bit of part two, so what I want to discuss is part one and a little bit of part two. Sorry, excuse me, I just finished eating and I'm having a little bit of indigestion. So, basically, so far, Santiago is the boy, the shepherd's, the shepherd. That just sounds so weird. And all he knows really is tending to his flock. He's always wanted to travel, but the way of his people are to take care of your sheep. Well, take care of whatever it is that you are destined to work in, in this country. And he decided to be a shepherd because he's always wanted to travel, and the only people that travel in his country are shepherds. Well, so he goes off to sell his flock, and he decides to take this voyage. He's looking for, this treasure. He was promised of this treasure in this land if he goes on this voyage. So he's looking for this mighty treasure, this big treasure. Whatever this treasure is, he's looking for it. He's hoping that, you could tell that he's hoping that it's money, that it's financial treasure. But you get from the beginning of the book that it's obviously not going to be financial treasure. If it ends up being partially financial treasure, that makes sense. But the book is intended to teach many spiritual lessons, personal lessons, within yourself. So you can tell that it's not going to be a financial treasure. Well, Santiago doesn't know this. So he goes off to find these pyramids because they say that the treasure that he's seeking is at the pyramids. So he's trying to get to these pyramids that he doesn't know where they are. He's never heard of them before. Nothing. So this is, he's trying to figure it out. And so he goes on this voyage. So he sells his flock, for some money to start his voyage. Little does he know that that flock is not worth enough money to get all the way to the pyramids. He's going to have to cross this long desert, and it's going to cost for him to cross the desert, right? So he ends up in this next country. He's in Africa at this point, and he comes across So he doesn't know what to do. When he meets the king, right? The king gives him two stones. Onum and Thummim. I think that's what they're called. So he gives him these stones that's basically a guide. So like if you've ever had Urim and Thummim. I'm probably not saying that right, but that's what it was. So if you ever had what's it called? A magic 8? No. Yeah, I think it's like a magic 8 ball. And you shake it and it gives you yes or no answer. That's basically what these stones are. So he'll ask a question, drop the stone, and it'll tell him yes or no, whatever he should do. So basically, they're just guides. This king gives him these stones, they're guides. And he doesn't take it seriously at first, you can tell. But honestly, what do you have to go on? You don't have any money. What you don't have that much money. You've started on this voyage, and what, you know what I mean? Like, come on. The guy said he's a king, and when you finally, believe him, then, might as well, right? So he has these stones, and he's using these stones for guidance. And I'm obviously paraphrasing. I'm not giving much detail of the book. I want you to read it. But he eventually meets this guy at a restaurant. And this boy that he meets, so the server that, is at this restaurant basically is telling him, don't go with this boy, but he doesn't know how to speak their language. So the boy tells him he's just mad because, you were taking too long, you didn't, you weren't paying or whatever. So they leave. The boy convinces him to leave. So they leave. He says that he's going to be able to get him to where he needs to go, right? So they get in the middle of the town. All of a sudden, he gets distracted. It's crazy how, we have this focus, because the thing was, he didn't know where he was going. And the guy did. So all he had to do was keep his eyes on the boy, right? But he sees this sword. He gets distracted. We often get distracted by shiny objects, by shiny things that look better than what we have already, things that we wish that we could obtain, all, taking our focus off of what it is that we're here for, right? So he gets distracted all of a sudden. By the way, this guy has his money, right? He gets distracted. All of a sudden, the guy's gone. And he starts to panic, right? And he's like, I'm just really hoping that I've just lost him and he's not run off and left me with no money. And it's just gone. So he falls asleep, wakes up, and he comes to the realization the guy left him, right? The guy stole his money, and now he's broke, and he's trying to get to the pyramids. He has no flock to sell. He has nothing at this point but his rocks. So, which are in the little shepherd's bag. So he has like a bag, but the point is he doesn't have anything valuable to actually get him anywhere, right? So this is the first quote that really caught my eye. After that happened, right? It says, "I'm going to become bitter and distrustful of people because one person betrayed me. I'm going to hate those who have found their treasure because I never found mine. And I'm going to hold on to what little I have because I'm too insignificant to conquer the world." And I was like, whoa. Light bulb. We do that all the time. Constantly. one little thing happens and that's it. Anybody that looks like that person, anybody that talks like that, anybody that does anything that resembles that, no. You know what I mean? No, we have no dealings with each other. I don't like you just for the simple fact that I have been through this before. Or I don't like you because you have more than what I have. And I wish that I would have just kept on and continued on the journey that I was supposed to continue on so that I can reach what I was supposed to have. Right? So we're mad because you know, things are similar, or things seem to be better, when in reality it's just not your reality. Does that make sense? So the thing is that I could be upset with all people, and I can just cast off relationships because my relationships haven't gone great, right? They haven't gone well. A lot of my friendships have sucked in the past, and I could just cast off all people and say, forget it. I don't want to do it. People suck, and I don't want to ever come into contact with anybody else. But you can block your own blessings by doing just that. That one person that's supposed to be yours, or not yours, but that one person that's supposed to match the frequency that you're at, the person that's supposed to come into your life and be able to uplift you and be able to actually get you to where you need to go spiritually, together, you just cut them off before you even met them because you was upset about what happened in the past. Or you get mad and you stop working on what you were meant to work on because so-and-so didn't do you right and didn't take your business seriously, or didn't invest as much time, or didn't invest as much effort into your business. So you just cut anybody like that off. You just cut everybody off, and you just say, forget it. I don't want to do it no more, right? But that could have been that person that you cut off before you met them. Could have possibly brought along some of the same attributes, but in a more positive way. And they actually probably could have helped you build your business to where it needs to go. They probably actually could have helped motivate you to get to where you need to go. If you just would have kept on walking, and if you would have just said, you know what, I'm going to take my loss for what it is, but I'm going to keep on going because I don't know what's ahead of me. I don't know who is ahead of me, and I don't know what's being brought to the table for me. So I was like, you know what? I hear you. You are right. So that is really what I got out of part 1. All of that was part 1. The second part so far has become: fear will always rule over success as long as you let it rule over your faith. Why? Because Santiago goes on to start working for this guy at a crystal shop. And the guy at the crystal shop has always dreamed to go to Mecca, right? He's always wanted to go to Mecca, and he's actually seen people poorer than he has go to Mecca and enjoy it and love it and come back happy. But he was too afraid to go. Why? Because he had this crystal shop, and he couldn't trust his crystal shop with anybody else. Couldn't trust that, they would take care of it while he was gone, and he can come back and everything will be okay. So instead of going, trusting the process, taking that leap of faith. Yes, it is a leap of faith. No, you do not know. But take that leap of faith. You never know what will happen. You never know what's in Mecca. So he never goes, right? With that being said, Santiago also decides that he doesn't want to continue on for the pyramids. It's going to cost too much, take too much time. He'd rather just go back to where he came, where his native, land was, go back home, buy his flock in double, because really he has gotten his money stolen, but he's been able to make enough money to buy his flock in double without spending a penny. So he really would go back as success, really, in that department. That's not his dream, but it'll help him, live, survive. So at this point, they're both wanting something greater and choosing not to, and in just out of fear, really, because Santiago doesn't want to go through, the process of staying still long enough to make the money to get to the pyramids. And the merchant doesn't want to entrust his shop with anybody else to go to Mecca. So really, I just got, simply fear. Fear will always overrule you. It will always overrule you. It will always overrule you. It will always overrule you if you do not have enough faith. Faith over fear will lead you to success every time. Every time. Every time, every time, every time. Because the thing is that being nervous is natural. It is a natural reaction of ours because we don't know what the outcome is, right? So we're nervous. But the thing is that you're doing it right if you're nervous and you still go. You still do it. You still walk in your purpose. Because you don't know what the outcome is. So imagine what you have now, right? And you don't know what the outcome is. You really don't have that much more to lose than what you already have. So imagine if you would have taken those steps. Imagine if you would have just kept going. What the outcome could be. No, you don't know what it could be, but imagine what it could be. Because you don't know. Which means that you can imagine to be as big as you'd like it to be. Why imagine an awful outcome when you can imagine an amazing outcome? By simply not letting fear take over your life. Not letting fear outrule your faith. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So I am because I started part 2 over again. I am about this far into the book and I still got about this much, about this much left of the book. So I have a little bit over half of the book to finish. So you have time to catch up. You have time to get on this book club train and then join us for the next book. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope that you enjoyed this little chat that we had, and I hope that soon we can start having lives and we can just talk amongst one another about the books that we're reading. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.